Today I'm going to do the Booktuber Partners Tag together with the lovely Suna from kiwilover25.
Hey guys, it's Suna, aka kiwilover25, and today I'm going to be asking Helene 10 book-related questions and 2 personal ones.
As Suna said, I'm going to answer her 10 bookish-related questions as well as her 2 personal questions. Let's just get started.
So question number 1 is, which character would you like as your brother or sister?
I would definitely go for Simon in the Mortal Instrument series by Cassandra Clare, because Simon is adorable, he is funny and he is sweet, and I just know that he and I could have the perfect brother-sister relationship together.
Question number 2 is, show your favorite series covers and your least favorite one.
My favorite series cover would definitely be the Incarnate series by Jodie Meadows. We have Incarnate, Asunder and Infinite, and I just am in love with these covers. Even though I have owned them for several months now, I still stare at them sometimes. My least favorite covers would have to be the Shadow and Bone covers by Lee Bardugo. Mainly because of the colors. I really don't like the grey color, and also I think they are a little bit boring. I do see that they are supposed to resemble the Wasian setting that we have in these books, but I just don't really like it.
Question number 3 is, if you could be in a fairy tale retelling, which one would you choose and which character?
I would gamble a little bit because I haven't read this book yet, but I would go for Beauty in Cruel Beauty by Rosamund Hodge. Now, the reason why I would choose her is because when I was little, I was convinced that I was Beauty from Beauty and the Beast. I was her. It was just, there was no question. Now that this retelling has been written, I think that I'm going to feel the same way, even though I haven't read the book yet, so I don't really know if Beauty in this book is actually cruel or different, but I'll have to wait and see about that.
Question number 4 is, if there was a zombie apocalypse, which 5 books would you choose to throw at the zombies?
Well, this is a very interesting question. So I have come up with 5 books. And I know that some of you are going to disagree with me on some of the books, but here they are. The first book that I would definitely throw at the zombies is Control by Lydia Kang. I did not like this book, and it would be okay for me for the zombies to own this book. The next book I'm going to throw at them is Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. This book just didn't do it for me. I did not like it at all. I did not like the characters, and I felt like it was a very silly love story. And then I have the Percy Jackson series by Rick Riordan. And it's not that I don't really like this series, it's okay, but I didn't grow up reading it, and I recently read it, all of the series, and it was, as I said, okay, but I don't feel much of a relation to the characters or the series as a whole, so I would go for this one, I think. Also, it's very heavy, so I believe that would knock out some zombies. Another book that I wouldn't mind throwing at the zombies is Half Bad by Sally Green. An okay book, but not a book that I would read again, I think. The last book would definitely be A Merry Little Christmas by Debbie McCumber. This is like one of the worst books I have ever read, and I have no problem with throwing it at the zombies. They can have this one for sure.
Question number 5 is, the police is looking for you for murdering a book character. Which character did you murder?
These questions are so interesting, I think, and so creative, but I will have to go for Nick from Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. I would definitely kill him because he is so annoying and so selfish. He's only after his own gains. He doesn't really care about Cather, our main character, and I'm not going to spoil the book. I just really wouldn't mind killing him. I mean, in the fictional world, not in our real world. I'm not a murderer.
Question number 6, is there a song that reminds you of one of your favorite books?
Yes, there is. Recently I read Maybe Someday by Colin Hoover. I don't have the book with me right now because I immediately lent it out to my mother because I knew she would love that book. There is a soundtrack that goes with that novel, and I just loved it. And every time I hear a song from that soundtrack, it reminds me of Maybe Someday by Colin Hoover.
Question number 7, how many hours per week do you spend reading?
Well, I spend a lot of my spare time reading, so I believe it's about 3 hours a day some days, and other days it would be like 1 hour, so It's hard to say, but on average I think I'm on about 20 hours per week.
Question number 8. If you could have a fictional pet, which one would you choose to have?
I couldn't decide on one pet, so I have chosen two. The first one is Crookshanks in the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling, the cat that Hermione owns, and that is just so adorable. I'm a cat person and I would love to own Crookshanks, even though I cannot say the name. Another very lovable pet that I would love to own is Munchie the dog in The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness. I really fell in love with this dog and I still think about him sometimes, so he's definitely one of my picks.
Question number 9. Are there any books that have made you cry?
Recently I have started crying quite a lot when reading. I think it's because I read as much as I do, because I didn't used to cry before. I have chosen the 3 books: Second Chance Summer by Morgan Matson, The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak, and the last one is Maybe Someday by Colin Hoover, the book that I have lent out to my mother.
And the last book related question is, which dystopia world would you like to live in?
This was a hard one because I don't believe any of us would like to live in a dystopian world, really. But I've chosen to go for the world in the Divergent series by Veronica Roth. Not because I think it's the ideal world at all, but I kind of like the factions and I kind of like the relationships that they have in those factions. You really belong in this family and you live and breathe that faction. So that is why I've chosen to go for this one. I really don't know which faction I would belong in. I haven't done one of those tests. Maybe I should, because it would be very interesting to know. But I do know I would never enter the Dauntless faction, because that is not at all me.
Moving on to the personal questions, the first one is, were you a good student back in high school?
I will have to say yes. I was one of those students who was always attentive, who always listened to the teacher, did her homework and had her hand raised. Yeah, I liked school, so of course I would like to participate in the classes.
And the last question is, which were your favorite cartoons as a child?
If we start with the cartoons, I really liked Tailspin. I remember watching that one on Friday nights on Danish television and I loved it, especially the intro song. It was just amazing. As for films, there are 2 Disney films that were very close to my heart, and that is The Beauty and the Beast and The Lion King. That was all of the questions as far as I believe. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you to Suna for collaborating with me on this video. I will put the link to Suna's video down below because I of course asked her some questions as well. And if you want to check out those questions and answers, you are welcome to do that. Happy reading everyone, and bye bye.